The restaurant was quiet that afternoon. Soft piano music playing beneath the low hum of conversation. Sunlight spilled through tall windows, painting long, golden lines across the polished wooden floor. At a corner table sat Ethan Cole, 42, a man whose presence usually commanded rooms, yet today he looked like he was hiding from one. His charcoal suit jacket hung loosely on his shoulders, the top button of his shirt undone, the look of a man trying to disappear behind a glass of water. He came here to be unseen, to feel normal for once, to order a simple steak without security shadows or stock tickers buzzing in his ear. But he didn't notice the pair of small eyes watching him from the other side of the room. Eyes the same color as his own. A young waitress, maybe 30, whispered something to her daughter before returning to the kitchen. The little girl, no older than 8, nervously held a folded note in her small hand. She walked toward Ethan's table, her blue dress brushing against the chair legs as she stopped beside him. "Sir," she said softly, her voice trembling, "my mom said to give you this." Ethan looked up, puzzled. Her hands were shaking as she slid the paper across the table. The faint scent of vanilla and dish soap clung to it. He smiled politely, but as he unfolded the note, his fingers froze halfway. His breathing changed. The color drained from his face. "If you're reading this, it means fate brought you back, Claire." For a moment, the world around him disappeared. The clinking plates, the chatter, even the sunlight dimmed behind his memory. His chest tightened. That name, he hadn't heard it in over 9 years. If you believe kindness still matters, if you believe that sometimes the smallest act can rewrite an entire life, take a second to like and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, where stories like this remind us that second chances do exist. Ethan's fork slipped from his hand and hit the plate with a soft clang. He stared at the child again, at her nervous smile, her braided hair, the faint scar near her temple. His lips parted as if to speak, but the words refused to come. "Your mom, she gave you this?" he managed to whisper. The girl nodded. She said, "You'd understand." He folded the note with trembling fingers, glancing toward the kitchen door. Half afraid, half desperate, his throat burned. Claire. The woman he had loved before everything, before the money, before the fame, before the lie that ruined them both. He stood, slowly, pushing back the chair. His footsteps echoed as he crossed the floor. When he reached the kitchen doorway, he stopped, because she was already there. Claire. Her apron was stained from work. Her hair tied up in a messy bun, eyes wide, and filled with something between shock and sorrow. Time had changed her face, but not her gaze, that same unguarded warmth that once made him forget the world. For a moment, neither spoke. Then she whispered, "I didn't think you'd come back here." "I didn't think you'd still be here," he said, his voice breaking. Claire looked down, wiping her hands on the apron. "I kept that note for years," she said quietly. "I never sent it. I didn't think you'd ever want to see it." He exhaled, trembling. "Why now?" "Because," she hesitated, glancing at the little girl who now stood beside them. "She deserves to know where she came from." The world tilted. Ethan stared at the child again, the curve of her jaw, the dimple that appeared when she frowned slightly, the eyes that mirrored his. "Claire," his voice barely carried. "Is she?" Claire nodded. "Her name's Lily." The sound of her name felt like a second heartbeat in his chest. He knelt down slowly, looking into the girl's eyes, 1,000 emotions fighting to find space between disbelief and awe. "I think I've met you before," Lily said softly. "In Mom's stories." Ethan smiled through tears he didn't try to hide. "I think I've been waiting to meet you my whole life." The kitchen fell silent. Claire's lips trembled as she turned away, trying to hide her tears. Ethan rose and reached for her hand, the same hand he'd once held when they promised they'd never let the world separate them. "I never stopped looking for you," he said. "The company, the money, it all meant nothing after that day. I thought you were gone." Claire shook her head. "I was never gone, Ethan. Just invisible to the man who had everything but time." His eyes closed, the weight of regret settling like stone. "Then let me make it right now," he whispered. "Both of you deserve more than what I left behind." Lily slipped her small hand into his. "Mom said people change," she murmured. Ethan smiled faintly. "Your mom's right. Sometimes it just takes too long to realize who you were supposed to be." For a while the three stood there, no grand music, no applause. Just the quiet hum of life returning where pain once lived. Outside, the first snow of winter began to fall, soft flakes catching in the light. Ethan turned toward the window, watching the world blur in white, then back to Claire. "Let me take you both somewhere warm," he said. No more hiding, no more secrets. Claire hesitated, then nodded, not as forgiveness, but as hope. They left the restaurant together, the world outside colder than it had ever been, yet somehow, in that moment, they all felt a little warmer. Sometimes forgiveness doesn't come wrapped in grand gestures. It comes in a note. One that waited years to be opened, carrying words that could melt what time tried to freeze. If this story touched your heart, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, because you never know whose hidden note might still be waiting to be read. Have you ever seen kindness or forgiveness change someone's life? Tell us below. The past cannot be undone, but love, real love, never truly disappears. It hides quietly in the folds of time, waiting for courage to open it again.